moving out and being on your own and locking in for a few months will transform you. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you how me moving out this summer for 2 months has completely transformed my life. And so I'm just going to give you my story. And so my goal is that by the end of this video, you understand why people always say that you need to be alone, move out, change environments, and how it's helped me. So to give some context, I'm in college and I went to community college last year. And then this summer I moved out to run my own office selling or manage a sales team. And so I'm not necessarily in business for myself in that regard. I'm managing a team for another company. I was a sales manager, but I moved out. I moved into my own house or apartment and I bought my own office. And I'm also paying for my own groceries, all of that. And initially I was really scared, as one would be. I had some fear around, is this going to work? Am I going to be able to make money? Am I going to be able to be happy? I had all these doubts and I almost backed out. But I went through with it and it's been the most insane experience of my life. And now I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to college. I don't want to go back home. I don't want to do any of that. I want to live by myself and I want to stay in my own little bubble for the rest of my life. So let me get into why that is. When I moved out here, like anything else, there was some friction attached initially and it wasn't fun. I was lonely. I was not used to not seeing anyone ever. So when I'm out here, I have no friends. My family's not here. I don't have a girlfriend. Literally all I have to do is work. And there's a quote that says, when your life is boring, work is fun. I can attest to that. And so one of the things I've thought about is, can you create obsession? Obviously, everyone knows if you're obsessed with something, then what looks like work to others feels like play to you. So for me, when I'm out here, literally yesterday was 4th of July. I worked on my business maybe 12 hours. Today, same thing. It's Saturday. Oh, baby, I get to go out. I get to improve so many different things. I get to film content. And that all comes from being alone. All of it. All of that obsession, that fire, that passion, it all sparks from being on your own. And there's no stimulus. There's no information. There's no opinions coming in from anybody else. It's just you. And when that happens, it's very powerful. So imagine you're in an environment where there's nobody else. Where would your mind roam to? What limiting beliefs would disappear if you didn't have people telling you what was normal? Oh, you shouldn't try that. Or simply just distracting you with the daily bullshit that is completely irrelevant. We do not need to be talking about memes all day long. My point is that when you're alone, there's a quote that says, you can learn more from 30 minutes of silence than you can from 100 books. And being alone is that, dude. Being alone is basically that a constant silence in your head that allows idea to express themselves in ways that they never would have if you were surrounded by even your family. Even just being around people in general, it doesn't let your mind go to the places it wants to go. And it's essentially, if there's information coming in, then it's not going to put information out. It's not going to create information if there's always information coming in. So when you move out, and what I've experienced, I wake up, there's nobody there. I go throughout my whole day, there's nobody. And I've learned to love it. When I first got out here, though, I hated it. I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted friends. I was really lonely, and it was uncomfortable for only about a week, to be honest. Now I'm addicted to it, and I really want to just ride this wave till I get to where I want to be, because this is the most momentum I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt so propelled towards a goal, and it stems from the biggest thing is having nobody else giving you any stimulus whatsoever. So there's no information really coming in from other people or other things. So it's only your mind has that space. Your mind has that time to actually create and act on those passions, those desires that you have that are just shoved down when you have constant information and opinions coming in. And so what's happened I've been trying this business model, lifestyle coaching, or more or less fitness coaching. Been trying it for about a year. And it wasn't until this summer I moved away, locked in, that I made $3K with it. Out of nowhere. What? And I'm not some guru. I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars online. I'm not making $10K a month online. No, I made $3K. But that's so huge for me. It's just insane. I don't know. I just feel so much momentum right now that I think you'd be stupid not to experience this at some point in your life and realize that this amount of passion and obsession is available to you. That's all it is. The way you garner and create, the way you create obsession is you give it space to express itself. That's a quote right there. That's my fucking quote. That's fire. The way you create obsession is you give it space to express itself. The obsession's already there. Your greatest ideas are already there. You just don't have the space in your day, in your week, in your life for that idea to come out. It's the analogy I made earlier. When you always have information coming in, constantly consuming, you're never creating. And so what happens is when you quote unquote lock in, you're not adding some special routine. You're not adding anything to your life. All you're doing is removing things. You're removing those things that are constantly stirring up distraction in your brain, not letting it create from the place that it can. So for me, locking in, simply put, has been the space I needed to let the creativity and passion just express itself and just come out. And that's available in every single person. But society's been set up in such a way with our phones, with how we party, with how we hang out with each other, with just what we do, what we talk about. Nobody is dead set on creating something big, and just nobody has an obsessive vernacular. Nobody talks about being obsessed with stuff. Everyone's afraid of those ideas that they have in their head. They're afraid to tell them to other people. And I have one or two people. Now, look at me, bro. I'm filming myself talking about it, everything authentically, because that's what I want to create. I want to create something authentic, but so many people are scared. And I think, what if creating businesses was just normal? What if going after your dream or whatever was just normal? What if locking in was just what we did? It'd be such a massive shift in society. But right now, quote unquote, what we do is we wait till Friday, we wait till Saturday to drink and distract ourselves. What we do is we distract ourselves, and we love it. We do what we have to do. We do the minimal amount to get by in life and be some idea of successful. And then past that, it's, how do I escape my reality till I die? That's what everyone else is going after. But the people that lock in get so passionate, they get so obsessive, because the human, I don't know which Greek philosopher it was, and I'm also paraphrasing a little bit, but he said that the peak of human happiness is when you're reaching for something just out of grasp. So the feeling and passion you're looking for is, one, when you start creating instead of consuming, and you give your brain and your day and your body some space to actually think. That could be you go on a walk without music playing in the background the whole time. You just walk with no headphones. That could be you meditate, which could be sitting down and not listening to anything for 20 minutes, closing your eyes. It's space. You need to have space when you're not constantly receiving information. Even if you're learning, you're still not giving your brain to come from a place of creativity. So for me, I love learning. I love listening to podcasts, and it influences my creativity. But I know that sometimes I need to go for a walk and not listen to anything. Sometimes I need to sit down and just meditate, because I need to allow my brain that space. So I've locked in for 2 months, and I've gained more momentum than I could have possibly imagined, and I'm going to ride this wave until I get exactly what I want. And I know you could probably hear the passion in my voice, dude. It sends chills up my body just thinking about it. Dude, if you're not going through day to day and yelling at how excited you are at what you're doing, you're not doing it right. What do you need to achieve that? You need the space to think. Start going for walks with no music and allow your brain to run wherever it wants to run. And that's where your greatest ideas are. That's where that passion is. That's where that magic business idea is. It's in there. It's in that moment, that silence. The definition of insanity is not being able to spend 30 minutes with yourself in silence. So I locked in for 2 months, and I'm going to lock in for the rest of my life, putting that out publicly. And you should too. Part of locking in is going to the gym. If you want a free program and you don't know what to do in the gym, I have a really simple free program on my website. Go check it out. Other than that, have a terrific day.